we spent the past couple of years in a crazy hot market. Louisville home sales decline as demand outpaces supply. Effective communication is at the core of any situation. If you master these two ideas, you'll have a chance of being successful at residential real estate marketing. I think you need to be looking for investment opportunities that move the needle. The market will never crash if demand exceeds supply. This is what I've been telling you all along.
This is the Jay Pitts Show. And we're back, folks. Welcome back to the Jay Pitts Show. I'm your host, Jay Pitts. Here with Ryan Harris, or half of Ryan Harris. Yeah. We'll see.
What's up, man?
Champing it out today.
Yeah, a little bit of a...
Dude's got a...
Everybody listening is going to be like, oh, he has a headache. What a wimp. But it's a pounding headache.
Migraine-esque?
I don't know what a migraine is.
I don't know that... I don't think I've ever had one. I've had headaches. When people say migraine, they're like, you would know. And I'm like, I've had bad headaches. I've got a pretty high pain threshold. Like, I don't know that I don't have migraines.
Yeah, it's just like it's a headache in the back of my head, and it's taken me to my knees a couple times. So,
I'd say that's...
I don't know where a migraine starts or is, but yeah. We're going to power through, though, so let's hop into it. Got a good show for you today. We're going to catch up on... Jay's been gone for a couple weeks.
Gone.
It feels probably like a whole year to him.
It does.
We'll talk about the eclipse. It was pretty underwhelming. Won't talk about it too long.
I don't know that everyone would agree with that.
That it was underwhelming?
I don't think everyone would agree.
Yeah.
A lot has been made of it, but I agree. It is always... Stuff like that is always underwhelming to me. But anyway, we'll get back to that.
We got the Masters starting today.
Nice.
So, yeah, we're recording this on Thursday. CPI report came out. Mortgage rates have gone up.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that. I want to play a clip of Grant Cardone and the guy from Wolf of Wall Street. Name's blanking me right now, but it's probably because of this headache. But and we have some Q&A. Louisville has a basketball coach now.
Yes.
UK's looking for one.
So much has happened.
UConn goes back to back. So full show. I don't think a lot of these topics will take long.
No.
Some might. So we'll just go ahead and hop into it. So, Jay, you've been gone for a couple weeks. You were in Vegas for a few days.
Yep.
And then you went to Florida. So Vegas, love to hear how it went. But I want you to talk about Circle of Legends. I saw that was
nice.
an award you got. And then The Office being the #1 CMN donation in the country. I think those are two pretty amazing things. So just give us a recap of Vegas and those things.
So in Vegas is R4, which is the Remax annual convention. I've been going forever, really. I mean, I started going before I was a real estate agent. I started going before I was a Remax agent. Went with my father. If you're a listener to the show, you know he was a longtime Remax agent. My uncle, a longtime Remax broker. So I got kind of broken in on the real estate national convention for Remax very young. Right out of college is the first time I went. It's just like it's a cool experience. Number one, some people love Vegas, some people hate Vegas. I've been to Vegas a lot. I like it. I wouldn't say I love it, but the reason I don't love it is just like it's always too long.
Yeah,
like Vegas for like 2 to 3 days is really fun, but you almost always overdo it in some way or another, and it ends up when you stay 4 to 5 days, it's just way too much. Yeah. The last day is like get me out of here, always. I've trained myself typically not to go too crazy the first day.
Trained yourself. I like that.
Well, I mean, I've made those mistakes. Yeah. You get a 3-hour time difference, right? You're jet lagged. You land essentially at the same time you take off because it's about a 4-hour direct flight, and it's a 3-hour time difference. Yeah. So, like this year, we did it well. Okay, the first day. The second day, we kind of overdid it. But it almost always happens this way. It's like there's a day where somebody or several somebodies do really well at the tables, and that kind of gets you going. And you drink a little too much, you stay up a little too late, and you got a bad hangover the next day, and it's like you're trying to learn and trying to focus and go to classes and hear motivational speakers, but you're just like wiped. Yeah. So anyway, that kind of happened, but it was mostly a really good trip. I've been going so long, Ryan, that the classes are tough to get into for me because I've heard it all before, most of it. Ellen DeGeneres was there. Anytime you get to hear like a very successful celebrity person That's really cool. The big national speakers in real estate are like Brian Buffini, Tom Ferry, a couple of those names. Brian was on the stage this year. He's got a really close alliance with Remax. Got to get a lot of good information with respect to the market. There was a lot of talk of the NAR settlement. The founder and former CEO of Remax International, Dave Liniger, spoke about it. If you don't know, if you're a listener to the show, you've heard me mention Dave Liniger along with Gary Keller as being two industry pioneers that have literally, like, they are the engineers of the modern residential real estate space. And so hearing Dave talk about that was really impactful. Hearing Brian's take, pretty impactful. So good times. Take a lot of our agents out there to celebrate. As you mentioned, we got some awards. So I got a career award this year, which was pretty special to me because it's the last one that my father didn't get, and he was just shy of it when he passed. So that was pretty special and sentimental for me. You know,
what is that one?
Circle of Legends is what's called a career award, and I don't really want to get into the amount, but it's a career commissions award. And like in real estate, commissions, you know, are your earnings are your scoreboard.
Yeah.
If you will. There's a couple of there's volume sold, there's transactions in units, and there's commissions earned.
Yep.
Right? So the great equalizer is commissions earned. You can sell a lot of deals and it be a really low price point and you don't make very much. You can sell a lot of deals and discount your commission very deeply, or be a discount broker and not make very much money. And you know, you can do a lot of volume and discount your commission deeply and not make very much money. So like commissions earned is kind of like the great equalizer. I don't really want to say how much, but
cool.
But it's
is there anything above it?
There are two.
Okay.
The next one is double what I have now. So, and there is also a years with the company requirement, which I did it in the pretty much the exact minimum number of years that you could do.
That's sick.
So,
so if you hit it before that, you just have to wait until you're.
Wait. So Tracy French, for example, has qualified for the next career award, but she hasn't been with Remax long enough to achieve it. So she's got which hers is lifetime achievement, which was the one I got prior to this. To put it in perspective, okay, so here you go. The first one is Hall of Fame. Lifetime achievement is 3x. Okay, Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Circle of Legends is more than 3x lifetime achievement, and then it goes double, and then there's another one above that.
Do you know how many people are in that final one?
I don't. Not very many. They just created it. If that tells you anything.
Yeah.
So one thing
tells me home prices are going up.
That's exactly right. That's exactly with home price. They created it maybe 5 years ago, but it wasn't. You know, as the network ages, which Remax is a relatively older, more experienced crowd of real estate agents. It's not the most youthful in years company, becoming more youthful. But yeah, there are agents that have been very successful for careers of 30 to 40 years, and that's actually one thing that really made me proud also of this award is another agent in our market that has been in real estate for 40 years and is a name that you would know, like immediately know as one of the most successful Remax agents around. She just hit Circle of Legends the same time I did. And, you know, I did it in 15 years and it was like 36 years for her.
That's awesome.
So that was pretty, that was humbling. So yeah, that was great. You also mentioned the CMN, which is probably more humbling to me because it's in service, and it's also a very big passion of my wife, who's a partner here at Remax Premier Properties. Children's Miracle Network was the charity that we support for our golf scramble, for our annual concert, which we actually didn't do last year. And we support with donations, in-kind donations on every transaction. We were the #1 office in the entire nation for Remax in terms of donations to CMN, which was $58,000 last year.
It's amazing.
So $58,000. They don't do awards for this, but I was top 5 in the agents in the nation in contributions, which I was very proud of as well.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, you and Jen deserve all those awards, and you work hard and built a great office. So congrats.
No, it's been awesome, man. I'm proud.
So you left Vegas, went to Florida. We don't have to talk about Florida too much.
Well, that was family time. That was spring break.
I saw you stopped at Buc-ee's. Was that your first time
It's the first time I've ever been to Buc-ee's. I told Jen it was like Cracker Barrel with gas pumps. Yeah, is kind of what it is.
I've never been, but the way I've heard it described is it's like Black Friday at a gas station.
It's kind of like that, man. There were probably literally 1,000 people there when I was there.
That's insane.
It was the food smelled good. It looked good.
I heard the food's great.
We had eaten already, so like I wanted a breakfast burrito. Like everybody tells me you got to get that.
Yeah.
Everybody tells me you got to get the barbecue, but I wasn't like feeling that, and it wasn't like I just wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
And so I kind of hoped that was on the way down. I kind of hoped we would have the occasion to stop on the way back, but it was we were trying to get back. It was Sunday. We powered through.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's move on. We'll talk about some serious stuff. So CPI report and the mortgage rates jumping. Yep. Then we'll get back into talking about the Masters and Louisville found their coach in UK and fun things like that. So
for sure,
we'll start out. The CPI report came back and it's pretty high.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Fed coming out telegraphing rate drops in Q4 of 23 for this coming year was premature. I've become more forward in my sharing of these opinions, frankly, rather than keeping them to myself. Again, I'll remind you and any listener of the show, I'm very politically as agnostic, but it just seems to me, especially obvious because it's housing and because it's my area of expertise, that the current administration plays popularity games with everything that is controlled by the federal government. Unfortunately, telegraphing rate drops, gooses the economy, gets things moving in a direction when you're working your way through a probably less than stellar holiday shopping season with high CPI, trying to put a positive spin on the economy, rolling into an election year, and then only to come out several months later and essentially take any rate drops off the table. They're still pretending that the next meeting might see a rate drop. I don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think we're getting to the point where they can't even drop rates and see the benefit for the election. So, like, if you do a rate drop in September, the public isn't going to feel the effects prior to voting day.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that tells me it's worse than they're letting on, because I think they would like to buy favor with rate drops, and they don't feel like they can do it. That's unfortunate. And so it just kind of is what it is. The economy at that level is above my pay grade. I try to draw inference from certain things that I witness. CPI being higher than they expected is not surprising.
Jumped to 4.3%.
I know.
So it was going down for a little bit. We've had 2 consecutive months of jumps, and
I mean,
I don't know. I never thought things were getting cheaper.
I never saw it. I mean, gas prices went down slightly. That's a very visible. I mean, you drive down the street and you see, every couple of miles you see the price of something on a billboard, essentially. But gas prices are back up in the mid 3s. They were in the 2s for a little bit. That's a thing. Interest rates had tapered slightly, but they're back up.
Yep.
So I don't know, man. I just
it feels like we're stuck.
It feels like stagflation to me, which is essentially a stagnant economy with inflation, which takes it's a slow road out of that kind of thing. But you're right, it does feel. In fairness, just so I'm being fair, politically, I'm not saying the previous administration was above pandering for support with policy. And in fact, I think a lot more than the narrative Biden gets blamed for the majority of inflation when I believe it's probably equally the prior administration's fault.
This is, in my mind, looking back, this has been inevitable ever since they decoupled the dollar from the gold standard.
Yeah, and that was, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
and it's been happening, but it's been accelerated. We're feeling the effects now more.
That's how credit works, though, right?
That's exactly how it works. 7% of our budget, right? It just is service on debt alone.
Yeah,
7% of trillions in our budget is to service debt. It's pretty crazy. I understand that why we're at a budget deficit. I get that. We're in the place, but like there needs to be some sort of plan to mitigate. Going back to what I said about the prior administration and deserving credit for some inflation, I think what is happening is they're getting a pass because they tended to be more moderate with respect to COVID versus the other party tended to, be more loud about it. The stimulus that happened as a result of COVID is what started all the inflation. Now, continuing to double and triple down on those policies, printing money and extending credit and things like that, it's made it worse. But I don't know that we'd be in this position without the money that was essentially just doled out to the public as a result of COVID.
Yeah, and gold's kind of exploded the last 3 months, and that's typically a bad sign for the economy.
So is Bitcoin.
Yeah, but
Bitcoin over 70, right?
It is.
69.8 right now.
I think you can still look at gold for like front running what's to come.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think Bitcoin's there yet where you can look at Bitcoin because it still is so volatile.
Gosh, man.
You can't really see. You can't look at that to front run what's coming. But
yeah, I know you love Bitcoin, and I don't know what I think anymore. Yeah. Like I remember feeling 6 months ago like I was glad that I never got heavy into Bitcoin. And now I feel foolish, and I'm enamored. I'm starting to become enamored with just how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
And like to me, I'm not like diamond hands. This is the future of money.
I would say I'm not either. I don't think it's the next currency.
I
think it could be a global reserve currency, and that's.
I think that sounds really cool, but I'm not right there. To me, I'm like, it's the ultimate day trading play, and that's not you. You're like, don't sell ever, right? Like, or under very.
The fees aren't. It depends on the volume you're trading with, right? Because the fees can
really see. That's the part
that brokerages charge can outweigh the.
That's a part that I don't really understand. That I'd have to get educated on, but like. If you just look at like the 3-year like ticker
Here's the thing.
On Bitcoin.
I've looked at and I've thought about this the last couple months because it's been going from like 65 to 72 just over and over again. And like, yeah, you could sell and then buy again, sell, then buy again.
That's what I'm saying.
The scary thing I think about doing that is you don't know when there's going to be any news or report that comes out that
completely destroys it. Or makes it run like crazy.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, dude, and we can move on from this pretty quick. But in April of 22, it was at 40.
Yep.
Okay. In October of 22, it was at 16.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh no, I wrote.
And
it
then
out.
Back to 30, and then back to 20, and then back to 30, and then back to 22, and then to 44, and then to 39, and now you're right, 72 to 65, like almost daily, it feels like. And so like I just think about like if you just set some parameters, right? If you sell if you buy a 20% drop and sell a 20% gain,
yep.
Like, where else are you going to find that many 20% drop and gain opportunities? There's going to be a last one. That's they say, like, you never know the last time you hold your kid, right? Like, I've got an 11-year-old that's coming up, but like, my point is like there will be a last time, and you don't want to be the guy that's waiting that never gets the last time.
Yeah, I think more than anything, what it's done for me is It's taught you to just do the most simple thing, just buy it and hold it.
That is simple.
I think
that's what I do with real estate.
I think it's like the hardest lesson for investors to learn. Yeah. And I don't even consider I'm not an investor. I'm listening to people I believe are way smarter than me.
Yeah.
Understand what I understand about Bitcoin, and that's enough for me. And I've learned to just buy it, hold it. It's going to go down. It's going to go up. You don't need the money that's in there, but one day it could change your life. So,
dude, it's insanity. It's insanity. I mean, like I think about like it's not a lot different than real estate. It really is. It's has a ton of similarities. We've had this discussion.
I think you've probably seen my personality change about it over the last 2 to 3 years of how, first got into it and I was, all I wanted to talk about, and I was high with the highs, low with the lows, and now
you don't talk about it at all.
Like
I have to bring it up.
Yeah, like it is what it is. I have it, and it's going to do what it does.
It's going to do what it does. I mean, it's like, but it reminds me a lot of that that first rental house I bought in a neighborhood that I felt like was on the rise.
Yep.
And now I'm looking back 15 years later, going, oh wow,
yeah,
look what it did.
Yep.
And I just and when I bought it, I was like, yeah, I'm never selling that.
Yep.
I'm just going to print $1,000 a month for the rest of my life.
Yep.
And so I don't know if I'll sell eventually at some point, maybe. I don't know.
You probably won't.
Probably won't. All right. We can move on. I know you weren't planning on talking about Bitcoin.
That's good. It was a good convo. Yeah. So, okay. So we talked CPI was up, causing mortgage rates to spike yesterday.
Yep.
I'm not sure what the average 30-year is today, but as of yesterday, April 10th, the average 30-year rate was 7.29%. So,
yeah.
And we were just under 6 a couple months ago, and now we're up over.
Up over 7.
Yeah.
And it's just been a consistent slog.
30-year FHA is 6.68%. 30-year VA is 6.7%. 30-year jumbo is 7.5%. 15-year fixed is 6.78%.
Yeah,
so.
We've also continued to show that transactions are possible regardless of interest rates.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to 10, but
I wouldn't put it out of the question now.
I don't think it's out of the question either. I hate that. I hate even saying that.
I mean, if we have 2 more consecutive months of CPI increasing,
they'll raise rates again. They'll raise rates.
Yeah.
They'll raise the federal funds
rate. I think it's more likely they raise rates to 8% this year than a rate cut.
You're saying you think it's more likely that we see 8% mortgage rates
than under 7 again this year.
Okay, hold on. Let's take a step back. You think it's more likely that we will see 8% mortgage rates than the Fed dropping the funds rate again?
Then the mortgage rates.
Then mortgage rates going down
into the 6s again.
Okay, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, I think this might be the lowest mortgage rate we see this year.
Yeah. No, I agree.
We'll see.
I agree. I haven't seen any revised estimates yet, but the administration is still telegraphing a rate cut in the next meeting, which I don't think is going to happen.
Yeah. All right. We can move on. I want to pull up if there's anything you want to talk about. Go, because I'm going to pull up this.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a reaction video.
This is going to be good because just give me a few seconds because I think we should be talking more about the fact that the DOJ is pursuing some more involvement with the proposed Sitzer-Burnett settlement. Yeah. Where they've come out recently and called the removal of cooperating commissions from the MLS as a workaround, which to me suggests that they don't feel like it goes far enough. The settlement goes far enough, which I think that the DOJ may come in and try to set aside the settlement and renegotiate.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, which could add time to the clock where we're still waiting to see what gets implemented, but it also could potentially eliminate cooperating commissions being paid by the seller at all. And I just can't help but underscore that every single thing this administration does with respect to trying to level the playing field in housing for the less fortunate prospective purchasers, it does the opposite. It hurts them. And I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but every single thing they do gives advantage to the institutional buyer who is competing with the entry-level buyer for entry-level homes. Interest rates go up. Who does it hurt? Not cash buyers. They come out and say that they're going to eliminate the buyer's ability to pay for lender's title insurance. Did you know this? Did you hear about this? So this was in the news today. But they're essentially calling lender's title a junk fee, right? They've got this narrative about junk fees. Well, lender's title, because the buyer, when they take a loan, you have to buy title insurance on behalf of the lender that covers the lender's investment if there is a title issue. They're calling it a junk fee. They're trying to take that off the table so the lenders, you know what's going to happen? Lenders are going to raise other fees. Lenders are going to raise rates because when you raise risk, you raise fees.
Yeah.
Okay. They're going to find something that's justifiable and they're going to push the envelope on that to offset the risk. So buyers become less able to be qualified. Okay. And loans become more expensive. Okay. Who does that help? The competing cash buyer. You take away representation from an entry-level buyer by telling them that they have to foot the bill for their own agent out of pocket. You don't allow the seller to pay it. You compress the fees that the buyer's agent gets to charge, meaning they get less qualified representation. Who does it hurt? The person they're supposed to be helping.
Yeah. I think anybody that's entry-level buyer will tell you it has not gotten easier.
It's gotten harder.
Yeah.
It's gotten harder and it's going to continue to get harder. Yeah. And, the policies, I don't know who's advising them on real estate, but this isn't how you make it better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working with some first-time buyers now, and they have a hefty purchase price. It's just under 5, and we've lost 2 homes offering over asking price already.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and those are not probably the people, that can afford a $500,000 house are not the people that these policies are supposed to help. But it's the same, Ryan. It's the same for the $200,000 purchaser. Probably worse.
Just got word, breaking news. Scott Drew turned Kentucky down.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay. We need to get to that.
Apparently, Hurley's agent is in New York with Mitch. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen. This is a UK fan who's just like praying that he didn't want Scott Drew, and he's praying it's Dan Hurley.
Well, I think Hurley already turned him down, but
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll break again while we're on this podcast. So, all right, I'm going to play this for you.
Okay.
So this is Grant Cardone and Jordan Belfort. And it's saying if Jordan Belfort's telling you should change your practices, it's probably time to. So I'm just going to play this. I'll play it into the microphone, and I want to get your reaction. I'll start it over.
Hey, I'm coming to San Antonio, man. Will you give me 5 minutes? This is before anybody knew who I was, right? No books, no kind of notoriety. So they're like, no, don't come by. But see, that was interest. To me, that's interest. No, I'm not interested. Not interested.
So not interested to you is interest.
Well, it is. It says not interested. Not is an adjective to describe interest.
Okay.
Right? So it's a level of interest.
So if someone says they're not interested...
on a scale from 0 to 10, what interest level do you have? None. That is a level. Right? Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You with me? A few minutes ago, he didn't know he had no interest. At least I'm on it. You see what I'm saying? You get it?
Well, I wouldn't do that. I disagree with that. But I'm not saying that reasonable minds can differ.
Hey, I'm coming to San Antonio.
I wish you could have seen Jordan Belfort's face in that. And the guy who put it said, Grant Cardone has an IQ of 42 and is worth $600 million. What's holding you back?
That's the caption of the year right there. Is that for real? Is that documented? His IQ is 42?
No, I don't know about
I was going to be like, man, that's bold to put it out there like that.
Yeah, no.
I'm not a huge fan of either.
No.
To be quite honest. I
want to do that. No interest is interest. That's like it's like the weird dude who won't leave the girl alone. It's like I am not interested.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah.
You two probably don't even know that reference.
Dumb and Dumber. I know.
Okay, all right.
Give me a
Sorry, I always try to make you younger than you are.
Pretty bird.
You're pretty young. Hannah, do we get this reference?
Oh,
no, Dumb and Dumber. Oh no.
I remember they came out with the second one, and it was pretty good too. But
not like the first
30-year joke he was running or whatever it was.
Dude, I'm not a fan of either. I think Grant says he says so much that he accidentally says some things that are correct. Jordan Belfort's just a criminal.
Hey, did
Sleaze
you?
bucket.
I forgot to bring this up, and then we'll get into the Masters because we're golfers and we got to talk about it. So
I loosely identify with that.
You probably haven't seen this video yet, but so I've had this raccoon in my fireplace for like a few days. Heard it in there and didn't know what it was at first. Heard it again, and he wasn't like all the way down. The flue was shut. I walk out front of my yard and I look up. He's just on top of my chimney, just looking at me. This big old raccoon, broad daylight, and just looking at me. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna catch this sucker. So go buy raccoon trap cage. It's a not one that kills.
Humane
them.
one.
Yeah, humane. It's called. I forgot what it's called, but it has like humane in the name. Put a honey bun in there first night. Don't get it. It was raining all night. Honey bun was still in there last night. Come out there this morning, caught him. But one weird thing about this raccoon, I started noticing yesterday. My boxwoods in front of my house spread out. I mean, completely spread out. I know how he got on the roof, climbing up this only tree that's close to the roof. Only way he could have done it. I guess he couldn't get down that way. I'm thinking the only way he was getting down
Was
he
jumping
is
into the boxwoods?
belly flopping into these boxwoods.
By the way,
it was only 2 of them at first, and now this morning all 4, just these huge holes in them, like spread out. This raccoon was 1,000%. Belly diving into these boxwoods.
dude, the funniest thing.
You know where I let him go?
where?
Oh, I gotta.
Joe Creasenport.
Nope.
No.
Back here at this office.
No. In my office?
Yeah.
But you let him go out there? Yeah. Oh, Ryan. God, if he ends up in my dumpster,
Oh, he ran into the apartments over there.
he'll be back. Dude,
Matt Hoagland and Hunter and Christian helped. So.
that's funny.
I'm a scaredy cat.
When you started talking, you could have given me a million guesses.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have come up with, I've got this raccoon in my chimney.
Yeah.
like I could have had a million guesses. Hey, tell me what I'm going to say next. I never would have come
Big
up
old raccoon, too.
God bless.
It's our new mascot at the office.
That's funny. Gosh.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Well,
Got that problem solved.
I'm glad you got your problem solved.
So, and it might be your problem now, but I don't know.
Hope not. Sending you
And
the
also,
bill.
I might have just told myself, I don't know if it's like legal to just release them wherever you want to. So,
Well, if you find a raccoon line item on your next month's invoice, you'll understand why.
yeah. So, all right, let's move. All right, so the Masters is going. We'll just start off with the easy question. Well, it's delayed already. It's the 6th year in a row they've had a weather delay.
Yeah.
Even I think the one they had in the fall, there was a weather delay. But nonetheless, who do you think's going to win?
Man, I don't really. I mean, I've been hearing the guys talk about how it's a lefty's advantage playing, a lot of holes set up.
You got to hit the ball right to left.
For right to left, and most of the pros play fades. And, Hogue was talking about this morning about a lefty that he feels like's dialed, and I don't know any real solid lefties. So, I mean, you gotta think the big names, right? Scotty has gotta be up there.
Yeah, but apparently, no matter what, if his wife goes into labor, he's
leaving apparently. So,
honestly, 4-shot lead, 3 holes to go. He's hanging in there, I think.
Yeah, Spieth, Koepka. Dude, what about Spieth playing that crazy line? Did you see the crazy line he played? What was I've been meaning to ask. What's he hit a shot on top of the damn roof.
Too much, but it was on purpose to get a better drop and an angle.
Yeah.
So
he hit it on top of a
free drop, and the free drop put him in a better place than where he could have hit the ball
otherwise.
If he was trying to hit it somewhere else.
I mean, I figured that's what it is. He's like just nerdy enough to be the one that would like do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been a huge Spieth fan. I know JT's not really got it going good right now. Would love to see him sneak up, but I mean, I don't feel like that's in the cards. I'm like everybody else. I want to see Tiger do something if he has to play with the delay.
I hope more than my words, but I think he's done already because of that.
If he has to play more than 18 tomorrow, I think he has.
He's going to have to because he's not teeing off today until like probably 4 now.
Yeah. So he's going to have to play more than 18. I think that really compromises his ability to make the cut.
It being wet makes it a harder course to walk, and he's got to tee off early in the morning to finish his 18. So not looking good for him.
I mean, I'd like to see something different happen. Brooksy, probably.
I think Rory gets it done this year. That's
you
my pick.
Think?
Yep.
I mean, he's getting a lot of grief of his Masters choke reputation, but
yeah, I think he gets it done this year.
Okay, all right. Rory's been playing pretty well, right?
Yep, and he's not being talked about too much this week, which I like.
Okay.
Live drama's kind of behind him. I think he gets it done.
All right.
So.
I realize I just rattled off like 12 names. I don't have a pick. Really, I don't. I wish I felt passionately
normally
about
like this week I would not work Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, Sunday, but now with a kid, definitely changes things.
Got to.
Yeah,
You got to.
changes things for sure.
Are you can you like DVR and like watch it after the I can't get into. I can't stuff like that. That's like takes a long time. Like I can't stay away from social. I can't stay away from the scores.
Oh no,
I don't want to watch it if
highlights.
I already know the outcome.
Yeah,
I'd rather just watch highlights. I was just wondering if I'm alone.
The Masters app's pretty awesome. It's like that time of the year where you download the app for a week and then you delete it after the week.
Might have to do that. I don't have that.
Download it. You'll do it every year from here on out.
Okay.
Okay. Pimento cheese or egg salad?
Oh, pimento cheese for sure. No egg salad.
Ooh, I'm going egg salad.
I'm not an egg salad guy. I'm not egg salad anywhere guy.
Really?
I tell you what though, like last night we got home. My wife and I went on a date. We mentioned I've been traveling. I went to Vegas. She was supposed to come, but she was sick, so she had to end up staying. She was well, but like had just gotten over getting sick. Our child care was kind of messed up for that respect, so she stayed home with the kids. I had to go and host the agents. I know, don't feel sorry for me. But then we go straight into spring break, and where you're 24/7 around kids, and we hadn't had a date, and I didn't remember how. So last night we saw Six, the musical, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
At the Kentucky Center, and went to Swizzle for dinner because it was right there. And I got home, and I was like, it was an early night, so I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna make a cocktail. What do you? She's like, yeah, and like I wanted so bad to make an azalea. Because like I knew that like she would probably dig that. It's not really probably what I would do, but we didn't have the needed ingredients. So I think I'm gonna go buy.
Nice.
Because I've never been. So you gotta have
Saturday, I'm playing in a. We talked about this. I'm playing in a 2-man shamble at Neville Mead. I think me and my partner have a pretty good chance, and I want to win because you get like a cool wooden like plaque that would go awesome in an office,
right?
And you get green jackets.
Oh,
and I'm wearing the green jacket to dinner after for sure.
Could get a little busted up.
I wonder if they got a 38S for me.
That's funny.
I'm sure it's not fit the size to fit, but
No.
all right. Let's see here. I got some more Masters things. We'll move on. One more real estate question. Okay, so let's say real estate downturn comes next couple of years. Who's most at risk? LOs, real estate agents, or title companies?
Ooh, I mean, title companies have a lot more staff. I'm gonna say that. They're very transaction based. Real estate agents, I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to probably like be more specific. It's kind of, that's a really hard question to answer. I think they're all in trouble. I think you're going to see a lot of real estate agents leave the industry. I think you've already seen a lot of LOs leave the industry, and you will continue to see contraction there. Title companies, the big ones will survive. The small ones will be by the wayside. It's just overall industry contraction. I don't know that there's any one more at risk than the other. Title companies have a lot more. I mean, I think you'd have to say mortgage companies, title companies, or real estate companies.
Yeah.
If that is the case, then I will probably say title because of the salaries.
Yeah.
Small mortgage operations, by and large, their labor's commission based, so the LOs go, but the company survives.
Mm-hmm.
It's like for us in a real estate company, the less experienced, less productive agents go get a job, and I start selling a lot more houses personally again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we survive.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it goes.
Cool. Yeah, just a question I wanted to ask. So, all right, let's move on. We got a little bit of time left. So, Louisville Has a new coach, Pat Kelsey. I'm in love with him already.
Dude, the dude brought the energy.
The interviews, the energy, everything about him is awesome so far.
He's crazy good. I'm so happy that we got. And again, we talked about Kenny Payne a lot, and I don't ever want to mention that name on the show again, but like we after the lack of energy, right? The lack of energy we've had, this energy is such a breath of fresh air. So anyway,
yeah, it's amazing. It's nice our coaching search is over, and we're watching Kentucky now go through what we went through for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And now their coaching search looks like it's just insane right now. Still hoping they don't get Dan Hurley.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but you offer a guy 11, 12 mil. I mean,
I'm getting a bunch of group texts, on about Scott Drew leaving. Like, there's a lot of Louisville trolling going on right now on the Miss.
I think it's too early to troll, personally.
It's too early to troll. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I think, don't people learn eventually that trolling just comes back to bite you in the butt at some point?
It does. I mean, I've got a lot of trolls in my comments on my socials these days, and I just go right back at them. I mean, you open the door for ugliness, I'm gonna give it right back.
Yeah.
So I'm not a Kentucky hater. I didn't like Cal. I don't feel anything about them losing Cal. I think it's honestly kind of sad from Cal's perspective, because it feels like the way this went down is that he really thought that they would fight to keep him, and they just turned the page instantly.
Yeah, I think he really loved Kentucky.
I think he looked miserable in his Arkansas presser yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's too sad. You get paid $8 million a year and $7 million a year.
No, it's not. No, a sad. Not like I feel bad for him. Like sad, like that he is so lacks.
I cannot believe he didn't go to the NBA instead of
lacks so much self-awareness, man. Like, why would he? His ego must be like the size of the city of Louisville. Like, to think that like he could pull an end around on Mitch, and that Mitch was one that was going to go down. Like, they were already talking about like moderate, not even like blue neck, like crazy fringe UK fans. Like the reasonable ones were like, yeah, I'm good with him going.
Yeah.
And like that was everywhere. It was all over social media. I guess the guy just completely insulates himself from that and thinks that he's like basketball royalty. Nobody at Kentucky looked at him like that anymore.
Yeah. I did see a couple of my friends that played college ball that are UK fans like think it's a terrible move.
Like to let him go?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you are reliably getting a top 5 recruiting class in the country every single year, yeah, it's kind of a risk, right? But like he has also proven that he does not get national championships done with that amount of talent. It is absolutely a truth that he's squandered more talent. I mean, his resume is no better than Tubby Smith's at Kentucky. Yeah. I mean, they're virtually identical, actually.
Well, and as Scott Drew, I think it's a blessing Kentucky didn't get Scott Drew, actually.
For us or for them?
For them.
I think Scott is a bad culture fit.
Yeah.
He's a boring guy.
And his national title was a COVID title, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
I think it was.
Okay.
So, there's an asterisk on that, too.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't remember his national title. He's a good coach. He's a boring guy, though. I don't see Dan Hurley. Okay, so let me ask you this question. Turn the tables a little bit. Does a second and back-to-back national title at UConn make Hurley more or less likely to look at the Kentucky job?
To win back-to-back?
No, he just won back-to-back.
Right.
So does the fact that he won back-to-back make it more or less likely that he considers a change?
Less likely.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why I wanted UConn to win.
Because one could argue that he has achieved all that he feels is necessary. So he went to UConn to win.
Has anybody ever done a three-peat, though?
I don't know. I don't think so.
So
that is something. But and he's got a fair amount coming back, I think. And so, maybe that's what keeps him there. But I mean, Billy D won back-to-back at Florida, right? And jumped.
So here's breaking news too.
Uh-oh.
It looks real. I see everybody tweet. O.J. Simpson has passed away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't know why.
Okay.
But yeah, that's
breaking news here on the show today. I get all my news from group text.
We could probably do a whole podcast where we have no topic coming in, and let's do For You page on Twitter and talk about different things.
Oh Lord, For You on Twitter is a wild, wild thing. Yeah. So the talk of Rick Pitino at UK. What are your thoughts?
Be devastated.
I would too.
Yeah.
But he's got
and I like Rick UP, but if he went to UK and came back, I'd boo him and hate him more than anybody that could exist.
I really loved him at UofL, and I was really sad to see him go. And he's got a freaking cardinal bird tattooed on his shoulder.
Does he get that taken off if he goes back?
Absolutely not, dude. You're 75 years old. You don't get tattoos removed at 75. He's got a cardinal bird on his shoulder. Like, that would be the best troll that you'd ever have for a UK fan. It's like, bro, your coach has our mascot tattooed on his person.
Be pretty good. Pretty good. I guess he'd get it covered up with another one, but
he bet he doesn't do that either.
All right. I don't have anything else. You got anything you want to end with?
No, man, that's great. I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff today, a little pop culture, a lot of catch up, a lot of good stuff to catch up on. We talked a little settlement. We talked a little real estate news. That's what we're here for. I will just say, the more this goes along, the more I'm convinced, right, that the best agents are going to continue doing what they've always done.
Absolutely.
And we're going to come out the other side of this, regardless of how it shakes out, winners, because we understand that good real estate agents do two things very well. We market and we negotiate. And this is just creating more opportunities to do both.
Yep.
So anyway, that's all the time we got for you this week, folks. We appreciate you. Check us out on the socials at jpittsrealtor, at ryanharris.re. Pretty much anywhere you social, check us out, give us a follow. Appreciate that. Go ahead and troll me in the comments if you don't like what I have to say. Totally happy to throw it right back. Throw a clown emoji right back at you in response, or a troll emoji.
I say the clown emoji is getting used way too much
on
social media nowadays.
I know, but when you're a clown, I'm using it.
Yeah.
So anyway, again, that's all the time we got for you. We appreciate you checking in with us. We'll be back to the weekly schedule now that my traveling is over for a bit, and try to bring you all news, real estate, pop culture, and Louisville. Again, I'm your host, Jay Pitts, for Ryan Harris. We'll see you next week.